Hey everybody, Joe Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is Monday, and it is raining here in Dallas, unfortunately. I like the sun. The market is been kind of selling off a little bit, and that's kind of not the greatest thing. So let's get into the slides, and then get to your questions. So basically, we are in a little bit of a pullback here. Stocks plunge, basically, and we've got some more of those virus cases out there. So that's what kind of seems to be holding back the market. Of course, the uncertainty coming into the election is also an issue as well. So that's not a good thing as well. So just checking my phone here. I had a little phone call, but I'm afraid we have to turn it off for the show. Okay, so basically what's happening? Well, the market is still in a confirmed uptrend. And this is interesting because you would think with all this pullback we would be, we wouldn't be in a confirmed uptrend. We definitely are. When this slide was taken just a few minutes ago, the Nasdaq was at 11,507, which the overall Nasdaq, which the S&P 500 was up, the Dow Jones was off. And so it's kind of a mixed bag. It seems to be pulling back to the 50-day line. And just kind of want to give you an idea of that. This is the SPDR, the world's largest ETF. And this basically tracks the S&P 500. So this is a very important one. I always look at this is one of the first slides I always talk about. We've plunged way below, and this is very key. This might be the beginning of a pullback, a W-shaped pullback. We have to be very careful, set our stop losses, because we've had it is pulled below the 50-day moving average. This is very serious, and it might pretend we are moving down for a test. Remember, the last test that we had of the SPDR was on March 23rd at 211. So hopefully it doesn't pull back that much. I'm hoping it isn't. Now, the Qs are still holding pretty well at the 50-day, and that's shows on this chart. That's where this red line is. There is a cup with handle, and there is a buy point on the Qs, but it does look like it is pulled back below the 50-day moving average. So it is precarious right now. We could move into a situation very, very shortly where we are in a market trend under pressure. So get ready for that. Get ready for a potential market trend, an uptrend under pressure. So we want to probably possibly look at pairing our holdings basically coming into the election. That's kind of what it's looking like, and can't give you an exact on it, but that's kind of what it's looking like. I do, though, have an interesting stock, and this is a very highly rated stock, and it did break out, and then it's pulled back below the 10-day moving average. This is typically a good sign. Don't know if it's buyable right now, but it definitely is a watch list. And this is the old Shasta company. The symbol on it is FIZZ, Fizz. kind of a neat a neat one. It's pulled back, though, almost $4 today. It's up in volume 6%. So this is a watch list, and it's probably not a buy on this one today, unfortunately. Just showing you my current holdings, where I have it currently. I did sell PayPal. I got stopped out of PayPal, unfortunately, so you'll see that's not on the list. Everything I have right now today is down. Taiwan Semi's down. Tesla's down 415. I think it's recovered a little bit from that. Cloudflare, it's down. Qualcomm, Viva Systems, and Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Now, I actually did buy a little bit of more Cloudflare today in the small portfolio. So I just kind of wanted to show you that as the small portfolio stands right as we speak. So let me give you a kind of a look-see on that, and then we pull that up. There we go. And there we are with the small portfolio. And this is basically a portfolio that I have. It's a small portfolio that I trade. It kind of gives you what I'm trading now. If you'll notice, I have Taiwan Semi. It is actually up as of late, which is amazing. We're down on Tesla. a little bit, not too much. We're at 416. Our buy price is 419 on that, so we're not too bad on that considering everything. We're up on Qualcomm and we're up on Cloudflare. And I did buy another half position in Cloudflare. Just wanted to show you that today, and that is up. And I can show you that just slightly. Let's see if we can give the, there we go. Yeah, that makes it look a little easier. We are down on Viva Systems, and we are down on Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. But it seems as if toward into the close, we're moving a little bit higher, thank goodness. And again, I did add a little bit of a position to Cloudflare. That's a buy and a pullback, and that's a half position, not a full position. So I just wanted to show you that. So let's take a look at what's happening on TikTok. Thank you for holding on. A lot of people. Questions about Apple on TikTok. So let's go over to Apple and see what we can see about Apple. They are very close to earnings right now. I've been a little bit disappointed with Apple since the 4-for-1 split, and it just has not been performing as well as I would have liked it to have. But let's take a look at the chart on Apple right now. So here we go with the chart, and it is pulled below the 50-day moving average. This is not necessarily the greatest sign. There's a relative strength of 91, which is very good. Anything above 90 or typically is good. I typically only buy stocks that are above 80, and this definitely qualifies in that category. So let's look at the grind criteria to see kind of what we're talking about. The checklist on this as of late has been very weak. So I would not be adding to any new positions to Apple right now. It's only 5 out of 9 on the Wheel O'Neill checklist. The ownership on it is still excellent, but we have started to see a little bit of fall off on the number of funds. Now, typically what makes a stock run higher is not individual investors getting in and buying it. It's typically the funds that are buying it. And in the case of Apple, it seems as if it's priced kind of to perfection. It seems to be in this range, from about 113 up to about 120, and it did make a consolidation base, but it just has not been, unfortunately, performing as well as I would have liked it. We're in this range, and until we break out of this range, I don't think it's a viable stock. Unbelievably, I know that I shouldn't be saying that, but I think if you have it now and you're up on it, I think you want to possibly sell Apple going into earnings. It's just one of those things that everything has its season, and we might be out of the season for Apple. So I hope that's not the case, but that might be the case. Thoughts on Dunkin' DNKN? Let's look at DNKN really quick. This is obviously Dunkin' Donuts. DNKN. I know that they've changed the name to Dunkin', but it is basically old Dunkin' Donuts, and it's kind of a great little company. And here we go with Dunkin'. So it is wrapped up today. Wow, this is really interesting. So there must be something going on with Dunkin' Donuts. We have a gap up today at 102. It's up $13. Wow, this is incredible. 84. There must be something going on here. There must have been some kind of announcement on this. Wow. Okay, so the checklist on Dunkin', 6 out of 9. Excellent. Let's look at the ownership. Very good. Okay, we had a breakout on Dunkin'. What is the situation with Dunkin'? Cannot say. This is definitely great to go. Let's look at the daily chart on Dunkin' to see kind of what's happening here. Yeah, there's a huge spike here on the daily chart. Let's see if I can look at the 30 minutes, see when that exactly happened. Wow, look at this. Something must have really happened here. Oh, there's a sell-off. Okay, this is very interesting. We have a gap up on this one. This is fascinating. We have a gap up on Dunkin' Brands. Thank you very much for bringing this to my attention. NKN. Okay, now here's how you can buy this. I don't know if I would buy this at this moment, and the reason is because I do think we're going to see a pullback on this one, but this is very interesting. This is a breakout. And why is it a breakout? I just can't figure this out, why this is a breakout, but it is. It is definitely a breakout here. Let's look at the funds are about 59% of this. The relative strength is just is moving up. Wow. Um, if this thing pulls back, it may be viable right now. So I don't know why this is, but there's a breakout on this one. Okay, very interesting. Thank you very, very much for this. Where would I buy this? Well, I don't know. It looks as if when you buy in a breakout, it's tough because if you buy immediately afterwards, you can get a pullback. But what I would do on this one, thank you for this, is I would basically wait. You're going to have to watch this one. I would wait for this thing to pull back, and it looks like it might pull back. If it pulls back and then reverses, that's when you want to buy it. So very, very interesting stock. I'm going to put that on the watch list. Duncan, I don't know why it's breaking out, but it's very, very interesting. Thank you very much for that. Christian saying, I appreciate that very much. That's an interesting stock. And, where is it viable? Well, it's probably viable at about 90, 92 or so. I don't know if it'll pull back all the way back, but to 89. I don't think that's going to happen. Something must have happened. There's earnings in 3 days. So there must be some very, very good news on this one. Now, here's the thing: when you're buying it this close into earnings and it's broken out, a lot of times it will pull back after earnings. But it looks like there might be something afoot here that is very, very bullish. So thank you very, very much for this. This is an excellent call, and I was not aware of this, but I think this is going to get on my radar here because I think that is very, very interesting. So let's look at NIU. And let's see if we have something there. NIU Technologies, and it's a Chinese technology company. So there's a little bit more risk when you're buying Chinese because of the gap thing. But it looks as if it pulled up and then it's pulled back to the 21-day exponential. If there's a reversal on this one, it may be a buy point. The buy point currently on this is 25.88. It's at 26.74. The question is, will it reverse? Very interesting. There are some funds in this. The checklist is good. It's passable. 6 out of 9. There's good ownership in this, and what's the industry? The industry is very good. So this is definitely also a watch list as well, and that is NIU. NIU. So there we go. That one as well. Where could we find a buy point on this one? Well, if I were going to buy this, I would buy this off the pivot, and the pivot on this is 25.88. So I'm going to put on the chat here the NIU buy point is equal to 25.88. 25.88 on that. Interesting stock. Thank you so much, Christian. Super great. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. Thoughts on Neon? Huh? NEON. Let's see if we pull a chart on that one. NEON. And see if there's a chart. NEON. Let's get the chart up for that as well. There we go. Neon Node designs optical touchscreens interfaces. And interesting. So it's a tech definitely, and this is a very good, important area. It's a 98 relative strength. Wow, you're getting some very nice relative strengths here. This one is only $9. So this is sort of a penny stock. Doesn't really have a good buy point now. I mean, the last buy point on it is a cup stage 1 at $12.49. The question is, can it be bought at this level? It's sort of more of a penny stock. I can't recommend this one. It just doesn't. It fails on the checklist. That's the main thing. I think this is going to be a watch list here. I think this one is going to be a watch list, but excellent relative strength. Earnings are in 15 days. I think you want to watch list this one. I'm going to put watch list for that one as well. So I've got a watch list for Duncan. I've got a watch list for NIU, and I've got a watch list for Neon. NEON. Interesting. All right, so let's take a call from TikTok. Yo. All right. It'd be risky to buy a stock right now. Yeah, I think you're right. I think we're in a situation right before the elections here where it is getting more and more difficult to buy into until we find out who is going to be the who is going to be the president here. We just don't know, and it's a little bit difficult to buy in this kind of environment. It's very much the market is waiting for a stimulus. It doesn't appear that that's happening. So I did sell today. I sold at a little bit of a loss. I sold PayPal. It pulled back to my stop loss by 7% stop loss. So I'm out of that. But I did add a half position to Cloudflare, and that was based on the strength of the stock that I had coming in. So that's really the only buys that I've been making right now. The rest I'm kind of just sitting tight and waiting to see kind of what's going to happen into the election. So that's an important thing. Into the election, kind of waiting to see kind of what's happening. So let's see. Let's go a little further here. Okay, thoughts on the QQQ and AT&T? Oh, talks of Duncan going private. That makes sense. Okay, thank you very, very much for that. Very, very good. So that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense because Duncan is a great brand, and I can see why they would want to do it private. They're just not getting the value out of it. Makes sense. So it may be acquired. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, maybe acquired. All right, that makes sense because Duncan wasn't showing any of the telltale signs like a base or anything like that. It just went up. It just was a gap up. So that makes sense that there is talk about buying it. Let's look at the QQQ again. With the Qs, this is, of course, the NASDAQ 100. This is the largest 100 stocks by valuation in the NASDAQ. And this is typically where all the good stuff is, your Apples and your Microsofts and those kind of stocks are in here. It's pulled below the 50-day line. This is a little bit concerning to me because this typically means that we may be trending lower. And as you can see, we have based on this. So let's see if we can put that. Yeah, there we go. So this is the up here, and I do think that we may be changing direction, unfortunately, to this. So we may have a W recovery, which would be kind of sucky there, but we may have a W recovery. We're still above a key level on the QQQ. I think the key level is 275. If it moves below that significantly, then I think you have to think about getting out of it, at least for the time being. Remember, and then waiting for it to move back higher. So, right now the Qs are selling for 279. Key level is 275. So, interesting on that. TGT and we've got a very, very good stock here. Thank you, Katrina. This is a good stock. This is a breakout stock, and I was going to probably put it onto my. Now I want to show you this. This is a classic example of how to buy a stock. And thank you very much, Katrina. This is really, really interesting that you brought this up. This is a company that provides digital products and basically educational products. Now, if you'll notice, it broke out to the 50-day line, but then it pulled back to the 10-day exponential, to the 10-day line. This, if it holds, now it's got earnings today, so I wouldn't do anything on it today. But if there's good earnings on this one tomorrow, this probably will go higher. I can almost tell you that because if the earnings are good on this tomorrow. Now, normally when we come into earnings, even when the earnings are good, the stock will pull back. So now with this one, though, because of what we see here, we went all the way up to the pivot, which is 89.82, and then we pulled back, to that 10-day line. That's very critical because that means that there's a potential reversal. Now, today's our earnings. You don't want to buy into earnings. You want to wait until after earnings. But this is a watch list stock, and this I might put a alert on this one if it works. So this is a symbol CHGG, And thank you, Katrina, for bringing this to your attention. Don't buy this now. Wait until after earnings. I think you might have a winner on your hands with this one. So very, very good stock. Very, very good stock here. All right. Is the market still in a confirmed uptrend? Yes, it is, believe it or not. That might change, but currently the market is in a confirmed uptrend, if you can believe that. Thoughts on TGT? Let's look at TGT real quick here to see if I can get any insight on that. TGT is Target, of course, and we're going into the best season, of course, for Target. That's going to be Christmas time. And it looks like we pulled below the 21-day moving average. If this thing reverses, it could go higher. It's pulled back to the flat base of 156. So if there is a reversal on this, and I think it may go back all the way to the 50-day, but if there's a reversal on this one, this might be a buy. It's still very strong. 89 relative strength. This is probably one of the best of the retails. 8 out of 9. That's excellent. Let's look at the fund ownership. We have increasing fund ownership. Well, a little bit of decrease. I apologize. A little bit of decrease. Funds are 40% of the stock. Based on this chart pattern, this could reverse, but we don't want to buy it now. We want to wait for the reversal and then buy it on the reversal. So again, this is not a buy on TGT. This is a watch list. This is a watch list. We're waiting really. And what are we waiting? What are we waiting for? Well, what we're waiting for is we're waiting for a reversal if it hits the 50. If it hits the 50-day line, which is basically 154. We're at 157 right now, so we're about $3 off that line. So that's kind of but out of these two, TGT and CHGG, I think you got to go with CHGG. I think that's going to give you I think that's better all the way around. And that's very, very interesting that you bring that up, because that was going to be on one of mine as well. What about, we have a question from TikTok, and that is on telephone, or T. This is not a stock that I would recommend to anybody. This stock is going to have trouble paying its dividends. I know that they're coming out with 5G, but this just isn't the kind of stock you want to be in. If you look, you'll see it goes from upper left-hand corner to lower right-hand corner. That is a declining trend. We don't want to see that. That's on the daily chart. Let's look on the weekly chart. It's the same kind of thing, unfortunately. We have that declining trend. I just can't say very much good about telephone at this point. We have a relative strength of 15, and we have pulled, all the 50-day moving average, the 21-day exponential, and the 10-day moving is all below the 200-day. This stock is moving lower, if you can believe that, according to the charts. It's going to move lower. It has a terrible checklist. It's only 33%, 3 out of 9. Just not worth buying this thing. Please, if you've got this thing, if you've got this dog, and it is a dog, telephone is a dog. T is not a stock you want to own. I would sell this thing, really, because it's probably going to go lower. It's currently 27. The only thing holding this up is basically its dividend. Its dividend has been good because the interest rates are low, but I just don't think this is worth owning. Please be careful with telephone, because I think you're going to be very disappointed with it over a period of time. It just doesn't have the right characteristics. Let's look at Microsoft. Again, one of my all-time favorite stocks. Several years ago, I did very well in Microsoft, basically buying it when it reached its from about 68 up to where it is currently. Microsoft is one of those kind of bellwether stocks that that are very, very good and can be very profitable to own. The only problem with this right now is it's pulled below its 50-day moving average. It's basically hugging the 21-day exponential. I do think this is going to bounce, but don't buy this thing until after earnings. It is setting up though, and it is setting up. So we do have a lot of fund ownership in this one. The checklist it's acceptable at 6 out of 9 on the O'Neill checklist. It is acceptable, but it is not stellar. It's got increasing fund ownership, which is always good. I do think that this one it's got a cup with handles. So if there is a reversal on this so I'm going to put on the watch list Microsoft. If we see good earnings, and we probably will, it's probably going to pull back a little bit. But then I think coming into the last quarter, I think it's going to do very well. So, but we do there are some clouds on the horizon. One of them there was a lot of selling today, and so I do think that there's going to be obviously selling. This is professionals selling into the earnings, which is tomorrow. So let's see how the earnings do. It's probably going to pull back on earnings, and then we might have a green light to buy Microsoft. But don't buy it now. Please don't buy it today. It's not a good day to buy Microsoft, unfortunately. All right. Oh, Duncan may be acquired by Inspire Brands. Okay, this makes total sense. This is why I couldn't understand it. Thank you very much, Wendy. Thank you very much for that. I couldn't understand why it was going up so much. It's a great company. As you can tell, I've eaten a few too many of their product. But I do love Dunkin' Donuts, and it's a great company. The only problem is, of course, it's just tough in that retail space for anything with this COVID. Everybody is, scared, and stores are not doing what they're normally doing. So I'm not surprised that they're buying it now. It's a quality brand, and they've got great locations, and they've got great products, of course, excellent margins. But in this retail environment where everyone is basically running scared, I don't know how good it is. But I can understand why they bought it. They must have gotten a pretty good deal on it. But anyways, very interesting for Dunkin' Brands. So let's look at okay. So SPAC. I'm looking at the okay. Looking at SPAC. Okay, well the SPACs are out there. Let's look at the SPAQ, and of course this is this is Spartan Energy. Let's look at Spartan. Not looking too good. Pulled below the 200-day moving average. I'm not liking that. 22 relative strength. This is the Bill Ackerman special, and we actually have 28 funds in it. That's amazing. Checklist is 33%. I just don't think you could buy this thing. I don't think it's buyable, unfortunately. Let's look at Snowflake. Snowflake, had a very successful IPO, and it covers a very interesting place. Of course, for others who don't know what Snow does, it makes a pre-built data warehouse that is basically accessible in the cloud, and it's one of the biggest subscribed software offerings practically there is. It's not been out that long. Kind of want to show you this. It's building what they call an IPO base. It hasn't really built it yet, but the IPO was at 120. It then shot up to basically 340, and then it's pulled back. Now it is currently trading at 250. I think this is more likely to be, where it's going to be for a while. Is there a buy point on this? I just think this is too early to buy this one, but it's only 4 out of 9. So I think that you got to be a little bit careful on this one. Again, the IPO, it IPO'd at 120, went up to 340, then it's pulled back. This is definitely a watch list because I do think that it's going to go. It's going to go higher, but we're not really ready to buy this one for a while. It really is going to be 3 months before this goes buyable. It's only been out for about a little less than a month, so probably not a buyable thing, but it's definitely a watch list. I am holding Apple for the long term. Good, bad, or bad idea. Well, Apple is going to continue to do well, but don't let long-termism become determinant of where you're going to be, and that's really, really important. I realize that a lot of people. This is what a lot of people say when a stock pulls back and it loses more than 8%. They say, "Oh, I'm a long-term buyer." Don't be a long-term holder, because a lot of times you can ride these things into the ground. I don't think that's going to be the case with Apple. But here's the thing: if you lose more than 8% on a stock, sell it and wait for the right time to come back in. I know it's a little bit frustrating to do this sometimes. I just had to get out of PayPal today. It was on excellent chart. I bought it on excellent chart. It pulled back, but I'm going to wait now because it has tripped the trigger, and I'm out of it. So I'm in Fastly at at 130. If you're in Fastly at 130, it is time to sell. And unfortunately, um, I had Fastly too, but I ripped out of it, of course, because I had a stop loss at 7% down. So the minute it started moving down, boom, I was out. And I think you might want to consider doing that too. Currently, Fastly's at 73. I don't think it might go up. I mean, it might go up. It is building. It is building a sort of a flag pattern, and it could very very well go up again. They missed on their earnings, unfortunately. Their earnings are they're on last time. So we shall see what happens in 2 days. But I wouldn't buy this right now. If I had this, I would probably sell this into earnings because it could pull back to it. It potentially could pull back to as low as 34 based on this chart. I think it might, though, pull back to the 200-day line. If it does, then it's probably a buy. It's still 98 relative strength, so which represented about 12% of their business, and that was TikTok. They decided not to go with Fastly, and it really, unfortunately, adversely affected the stock. So, but I think it still is a watch list, FSLY, because even though sometimes these will pull back, with these cloud stocks, you got to play them up, and then you got to push your stop losses up very quickly on them. But they can be very, very good. So, how about space? This is Virgin Galactic. I haven't been in space since the early part of this year. I was in the early part of this year, but then I did sell out before earnings. Now, this is a classic blow off top. I want to show you this chart, very interesting chart, and how to play it. Basically, I was in it. The last time I was in it was from this pivot, which was 1293. It moved up about to almost to 41, and then I sold out. Now, why do I talk about pivots all the time? Well, it's been shown that stocks tend to make their biggest moves after they go through a pivot. And that's indeed what happened here. Of course, it pulled back. So what to do? Well, we do have a cup formation handling, cup with handle. And this is a very strong formation. Now, unfortunately, it's pulled back to the 200-day line. So I don't want to buy it in this location. We've also got earnings in about 15 days. But if you did buy this, if on a reversal, if you did buy this, see, the checklist just is not good enough. It's only 44%. If you did buy this on a bounce off the 200-day, which you can do, I wouldn't hold this any longer than into earnings. Right now, I wouldn't buy this one, though, based on the chart. Unfortunately, I do like the idea of the company, but I just don't think you can buy it right as it stands now. So, that's unfortunate to say that, but I think that's the way it's got to be. Let's look at Pinterest Pins, which is a very cool stock. A lot of people love Pinterest, PINS, and it has been a very good. It's going to been a very successful IPO. Let's kind of look at the Pinterest and how it's wrapping up. Okay, well, this is just beautiful. This is a beautiful chart, by the way. I wouldn't buy it right now because we're going to come through earnings. I think this one's got to be on your watch list. I think this one has to be on your watch list because it's got a relative strength of 97. We have earnings in 2 days, so don't buy it before earnings. 6 out of 9, that's my minimum, so that's good. Let's look at the ownership. Yeah, excellent. Does it have any options on it yet? Well, it does have one, a 40 strike price option that's selling for 10. Wowie kazowie. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. Well, we have interesting action on the options. Okay. The strike is 40 and the last on it is $10. So can we make some money here? Well, okay. Well, it means that this priced correctly because we can tell whether the market is pricing it correctly. It's at $50 currently. With the option at $40, if we subtract them, we get 10, and that's the amount that it's selling for. So it looks as if this is about priced right, but it looks like it's moving right up this line. So can we, what is it going to look like in the near future? I think that we're moving up this slope. So we could be as high as 80 by by the end of the year. So we could definitely be there. So Let's look at the monthly chart to see if that gives us any. Yeah, this is a beautiful IPO base, and it's pulled higher. So on the monthly chart, and this one when you have to look, this is an exponential chart, by the way. It's looking very, very good. So this is definitely a watch list. You don't want to buy it right today because we're going into earnings, but earnings will happen on Pinterest in 2 days. So wait on this one. Wait 2 days. Let's see how it trades after earnings. I think this one might be a buy. Pinterest. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so this is Pinterest, and let's see if we've got. Thank you for everybody. FUTU. Let's look at FUTU quickly here. FUTU. And by the way, this is coming from the people that are looking at me on TikTok. Now, if you're on TikTok and you want to see the charts, it's super easy. All you have to do is jump over to YouTube at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor, and you can see those charts and everything as I'm talking about them. So here we go. It's pulled back to the 50-day moving average and the 21-day exponential. So China-based, it operates a holding company that offers an online brokerage brokerage platform. I don't know a lot about this one. They are ADSs. That means it's trading on the Shanghai exchange, and then we have the depository receipts that are trading here in the U.S. It has an interesting checklist, 88%. That's excellent. And the fund ownership. You know what? This one might be interesting. I want to find out more about this one because this could be a winner. FUTU, and this is China-based, and it's FUTU, and it is very interesting. Is it viable at this point? Well, let's look at the funds. Let's see what the funds say about this. We do have 21 funds in this. This is very interesting. Don't know a whole lot, but there is going to be, I can guarantee you that in China, there's going to be a huge amount of people that are interested in the stock market. So this one is very interesting to me. I wouldn't buy it yet, but I want to look at this one. I'm going to put this on a interesting on an interesting stocks to watch list. Okay, so okay. Oops. Okay, Periscope didn't get the comment. Okay, so Amazon is going to earnings tomorrow, and your thoughts? Thank you very much, Arnold. Appreciate it always. And let's look at Amazon, AMZN, symbol for Amazon. And what do we got on Amazon? Well, we've got, it's pulled up. That's interesting. Into earnings. Okay, this is very bullish. All right, so it's pulled up into earnings. Let's see if I can see anything on there. It's 89 relative strength. It's pulled right up to the 10-day. That's very good. Cup with handle. Wow, this thing is ready to this thing is ready to pop. This thing is going higher. This thing is going higher. Very good. Amazon. All right. Here's what I would do with Amazon. I think you can make some money on this one. I would wait for earnings, and then I would buy it. This looks like a buy. 100% checklist. Ownership is excellent. Doesn't get much better. Okay. Wow, we have a very, very good opportunity. This is a very, very good opportunity. Let me see, and I'm going to see if I can put an action trade alerts on this one. This is the kind of thing, this is kind of like the shooting the fish in barrel deal. I'm going to have to do something with Amazon because this is a cup and handle on the daily chart. Let's look at the weekly chart. I want to confirm it. Yes, it's a cup with handle. This is absolutely stone cold winner. Yeah, this can be, you could make money on this one going into, you don't want to buy it now. You don't want to buy it today. You want to wait until earnings. It's probably going to retreat a little bit in earnings, but this one could pop. This one definitely could pop. I think you could possibly make some pretty quick change on this one if you went into this one. I'm going to do a little bit of more research. It's an 89 on the relative strength. If it's 80 or better, I'm a buyer. So wow, this is definitely one to look. Now, if this will pop, if stimulus is passed, I think the thing to do is to get a order ready on Amazon, and then if the stimulus is passed, if the stimulus bill is passed, this thing will pop. There's no question about it. This will pop. So wait until after earnings, and then get an order ready in the queue and alert it. And I'm going to try to put something together on that on the Action Trade Alerts. By the way, everybody, if you're interested in the Action Trade Alerts, it's super easy to get the Action Trade Alerts. And when are they? Well, what the Action Trade Alerts are is they are a little thing, a little email list that I send out whenever I'm trading or there's something that is happening right now. Is breaking out. I had one on Fastly, of course, that didn't work out as well, but I had one on Netflix, Cloudflare, that worked out real well. So sometimes some of these ones work out very, very well. Of course, everything is, just based on as it's happening. So that's the important thing, that you're on this list. In order to get onto the list for the Action Trade Alert, super easy to do. All you have to do is go to the website www.dallastradingfloor.com and then sign up on the list there. I'll just kind of give you an idea of what it looks like on the website, so you can sign up on site. This is what the website looks like. All you need to do is just go to www.dallastradingfloor and then first and last name and email, and then hit that subscribe button, and you're good to go. You'll get all the trade alerts that you need. And of course, it's free. And if you want to cancel anytime, you can as well. So also, if you're interested in learning about how I trade, what is that website called again? Well, it's Dallas Trading Floor, Dallas Trading Floor, and that is the website. Now, if you want to sign up for the Extra Trade Alerts and you're looking on TikTok, it's very easy to do. All you have to do is go to my profile, hit the link, and you'll be taken directly to a sign-up page for Dallas Trading Floor. Also wanted to show you kind of the books that I use to trade. I use what they call the Kanslin method, and many of the top traders in the world use this method. It was invented by William O'Neill of Investor Business Daily. Now, if you want to learn about this, I recommend buying these books. The first one is How to Make Money in Stocks, a Winning System, Good Time or Bad. And then I also recommend you getting the companion volume, the kind of the Cliff Notes, if you will, How to Make Money in Stocks, Getting Started by Matthew Galgani. And also, I think you also want to look at this one, The Successful Investor. These are all available on Dallas Trading Floor. You just go to that Learn to Trade bookshelf, and you're good to go on that. So that's how you get involved with that. So let's take a look at another question from TikTok. Again, the website for is dallastradingfloor.com, and it's super easy to look at. What about MARA? Let's look at MARA. See what I can find on that for you as we speak. So MARA. Oops. MARA. Here we go. Marathon Patent Group. Don't know this one offhand, but looks quite interesting on the chart. So let's kind of go after it. It looks like we've had a blow off top, and then it's pulled back. It's got a 99 relative strength. That's very strong. Acquires patents. Interesting. Okay, well, sounds like an interesting stock. It's a penny stock, $2.54. This is, it's got 409. This is what they call a troll. In that what they do is they buy patents, and then they look to see out there anybody that's innovating, and then they sue them. And so this is a troll company. I wouldn't recommend this one. It's interesting, but I just would not recommend this one. Sometimes, it's a great idea, but a lot of times these guys have a lot of trouble collecting on their on their patents. So typically, this is not a company that makes them; it's a company that buys old patents and then tries to sue other companies that are potentially infringing on them. So I wouldn't recommend MARA. I just don't think it's going to give you the right kind of thing. All right, so okay, MARA is a Bitcoin miner. Well, okay, I think the way to go on Bitcoin is the stock that I use for Bitcoin. I don't have Bitcoin directly, but I do have the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, or GBTC. Let's kind of see how that's doing. It's kind of a counter-cyclical stock, and I do have just a tiny amount of it. It's pulled back a little bit today, but it has been trending up. So if you're interested in Bitcoin, this might be a way that you could own it. There has been some selling today, but there is a buy point on this one at 14.78, and it's off 2 cents today. Not a lot, but it looks like it's setting up to move higher on the potential. On the potential that's 6 out of 9, that's minimum, which is good. There is actually some fund ownership on this, which I find absolutely amazing. But the GBTC holds about 4% of the world's Bitcoin. So this is a way that you can play the Bitcoin market. It is much more liquid than if you just own or mine your own Bitcoins. So there you go. Okay, so let's see. What about what do you think about buying Snap puts? Let's look at that. Now, of course, for everybody out there, when you're buying a put, that's essentially a bearish trade, as we all know. I don't know if I would want to buy puts on this because this is looking very strong. It pulled back today. This is typical when you get this gap up. You'll have a gap up, and then it'll move up, and then it will pull back and settle. It looks like it's settling about 40. Now, would I buy puts on this? Do I think this is going to fall? I doubt it. So this would not be. I don't think you want to be doing puts. Let's take a look to see if I can find some options action on it. Not really very much that I can see on this. Let's see if we've got increasing fund ownership. We do. Checklist looking excellent. You do not want to buy puts on this one. You want to now you could possibly sell cash secured puts on this one. You could sell cash secured puts on this one. That might be the better strategy because this is a stock that's probably worth acquiring just based on this chart. I would not be a buyer of puts, though, on this. I don't think that's going to set up nicely for you, and you may lose some money if you do that. So that is, that's my take on it. BBBY, that's Bed Bath & Beyond. BBBY, and of course, it's a great place to shop for towels and stuff. I like to go there. And it's excellent, but retailers have been hurt. So a lot of discounters in this business pulling back to the 10-day line. Looks like this one is potentially going to go higher, interestingly enough. Very nice earnings per share last time. Let's look at the criteria for buying it. It's excellent, 7 out of 9. Ownership is good. This one might be one of the few retailers that survives. So I don't have a problem with this at all at buying this one. This is a buyable stock. This is definitely a buyable stock. Now, would I buy it? No, because I don't particularly. I'm not particularly into the retail stocks as of late, but I do think it's a good stock. And so Brooklyn Staten, I do think it's a good stock, and I do think you can get in it. I would if you do buy this thing, it's got a really strong relative strength. If you do buy this thing, be very careful, set your stop loss, and try to buy it at a pullback to the 10-day moving average. I think it is viable at 24.15 potentially. And I do think it's going to move right up to 10-day. So very good stock, by the way. Very good stock, Bed Bath & Beyond. Very, very good stock. So let's see. Going to look here if we have Jim, market directions to change to under pressure. You're probably right. So let me take a look. If that is true, then we've got to do some stuff here. Let's check to make sure that we are in the market condition has changed, and that's a good call if you're right. So let's look at that to see. No, we're still in the confirmed uptrend according to the Investor Business Daily. So let's click over to that to show you that. That's this little arrow here. You're going to see the ads, of course, on it as well. But market is in confirmed uptrend. So we're still in a confirmed uptrend. So I know that doesn't seem like it, but we are in a confirmed uptrend. So, but I think we may be getting very close to having it move to a uptrend under correction. So, your thoughts on PayPal? Okay, well, unfortunately, I got stopped out of PayPal today. I did. It pulled back, and it was setting up very, very nicely, and then boom, it pulled back a little bit too much, and I got shaken out of it. Of course, the O'Neill rule is that basically you never want to take more than an 8% loss on anything that you have. So be very careful about that. It still has a very nice cup and handle. It pulled back to that 50-day moving average. So I got shaken out of it. Now, will potentially I come back into this? You betcha I will, because if it may pull lower than this line, and then if it starts to reverse, I probably will be back in PayPal. But right now I got shooken out. So once you get shaken out, you can definitely come back right in. You can come right back in. So, and I do that a lot. I'll be shaken out, and sometimes that won't work, and then I'll try to find another entry point for it. So, the SPAC is for Fisker. Thank you very much, Michael. Appreciate it. Well, Fisker, as you know, Heinrich Fisker is one of the biggest. And okay, so that is the Ackerman SPAC. One of the things I do like this one. I don't. Unfortunately, it's a little bit too early to buy the stock because I don't like buying SPACs before I want to see them. I want to see the merger and everything happen first. But if it's Fisker, then it's probably pretty good, because Fisker is one of the most successful designers out there of electric, of vehicles. And the fact is that Fisker has a very interesting take on this, the take that I like, and that is that he's partnered with Magma. This is a company that can basically OEM the construction of the vehicles, and I think this is a very significant thing. This is the biggest problem that I think you have in the automobile industry, is that it's just very, very expensive to put together a high volume car, and with the potential partnership with Magma, I definitely think Fisker could do that. So SPAC, the Bill Ackerman SPAC with Fisker, I think that's very good going forward. I'm going to keep my eyes on it. I don't know. I can't give you any details on it right now because it has not yet been yet completed. But that sounds like a very, very good thing going forward. So thank you so much for that. That's very interesting information to me. Buy point for Apple. Well, let's look at let's look at Apple again. I don't think here's the thing about Apple right now. You want to be careful. Let it go through earnings. Let's see what happens. Not time to buy it before earnings. We don't want to buy it into earnings. We just don't want to do that because because typically it probably will pull back prior to earnings. It could pull as low, as 103. I mean, it potentially could do that. I don't think that's going to happen. But I do think that we want to be careful buying it before earnings. Now, after earnings, that's a different story. Earnings are basically on Thursday for Apple. So we want to hold, we don't want to do anything now. We want to get ready, possibly with a half or full position to get ready. The checklist is not as good as I'd like. This checklist may improve if we have good earnings. But currently, it is not a good enough checklist. It's a good checklist, but not a great checklist. So here's the thing, and this is tough with always to do, is get your position ready to buy Apple. It's not a buy right now. It's definitely a watch list. There's just no question. The buy point for Tesla, very good question. As you well know, that I am a Tesla bull, and I'm in Tesla. It's been kind of sloppy as of the last few days. I have not liked the action on it, but then again, but here's the thing, and let's take a look at the Tesla chart. This is a very interesting thing to show you. It's pulled right back up to the 50-day line. It just seems to be sitting on this 50-day line. Will it move higher? Well, I think it might. It's got a relative strength of 99, so it's outperforming all but 1% of the market, or actually it's in the top 1%. It does have increasing fund ownership, and of course, everybody knows that it's in a good sector of the economy, number 3 rank, which is very strong. So if you consider that it's in that, there's a lot of dogs in the sector. So definitely, Tesla is punching above its weight. Now, the question is, where is the buy point for this? Well, there is a buy point. I'm going to go over the weekly chart here to show you that basically, and it's hard to see this, is that 466. And why do I say that? Because that's the top of that blue bar. You see that 466.80. That is the buy point. Now, can you buy it below the buy point? Absolutely. And I have bought it below the buy point. But right now, the buy point on Tesla is 466. Now, typically, the way a buy point works is if it moves beyond that buy point on heavy volume, and it hasn't done that yet, that usually will start the new leg up. So this thing could move up very much higher into the new year if it moves to the buy point on high volume. It's not there yet, but that is, that is the story for Tesla. And again, I am a Tesla bull, and I do hold Tesla for full disclosure. Buy point on Facebook, FB. Facebook, I've done well on Facebook as well this year. It's a tough one to buy. It does have a chart pattern that's very good, very bullish. Let's look to see if on the daily chart, if we can find an entry point for this. There is an entry point on this, but it's really on the 10-day moving average at about 273. It's 277 right now, so it's pulled below that just slightly. It looks like it's in a bit of a consolidation, but here's the thing, and this is why you got to be really careful on this one. Don't buy this thing because it's only 3 days from earnings. Probably will retreat after earnings, even if the earnings are good. That's just how it typically works. Everybody and their brother is in this one. There's a lot of fund ownership here, and 50%, and this has it like a 50% growth rate. 47% of this of the people that are in this are funds, so very, very, very bullish. Where to buy this? Well, I would wait again for earnings. I know that we're in earnings season, and I probably should put out some options place on this, but typically the way it works is in earnings like this, in earnings season, you don't want to buy them into earnings. You want to wait, because typically they'll pull back after, even if the earnings are good, they'll pull back after earnings 80, 90% of the time. And then on that rebound, that's where you want to buy them. So that's where you want to buy them. So let's see if I can give you some more stuff. I think the market is falling. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that, it's basically waiting. What the market is waiting for is that stimulus. If the stimulus happens, I think it's going to go higher. But right now, not so much. Tesla going higher already. Okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Barker Swing. This is a good one. Yeah, I do think going into this is why I've loaded up on Tesla, and I do think we're going to go strong into the end of the year. I think that's very, 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 very good there. So I do think that that is definitely the case with Tesla. So everybody, almost at the end here. Just wanted to bring up again so that you can get on our action trade alerts. It's super easy to do. All you have to do is go to www.Dallas Trading Floor and then sign up for the trade alerts. Also, we're on YouTube at www.youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. And if you do go there, I would really appreciate it if you go ahead and like me. Please like me, please and hit that like button like that. So there you go. I'm smashing that like button. So I like that. If you're on TikTok, looking on TikTok, thank you so much for dropping by. I really appreciate it. If you want to see all the charts and everything, about 30 minutes after the end of the show, all the charts are going to be available on YouTube. And this is show number 160, and it's available on youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. And if you want to get on the free action trade alerts, it's easy to subscribe. If you're on TikTok, all you do is go to my profile, hit that link, and you get right on the action trade alert. So thank you very, very much for that. Okay, well, almost. Thank you for everybody looking at me on TikTok and on YouTube and on Periscope and on all the other platforms. I will be back tomorrow at 2:30. If you want to get on the action trade alerts, it's super easy to do. Just www.Dallas Trading Floor, and then just sign up for it there. Again, till tomorrow at 2:30. I want to just say happy trading, and I hope everyone's safe out there. I know there was a spike in the COVID stuff, which is kind of bad, but I hope everyone's okay out there. And 2:30 tomorrow, I will be back Central Time. Happy trading.